You're such an asshole.
Hello, children. Asshole consultant. Here we go. Why? Jesus. Some emails. Some email programs. We're just going to add a bunch of spaces. So you think it ended, but then you got to look at the scroll bar, scroll all the way down because we're Microsoft Exchange, whatever, inbox. Outlook, that's what it is. Thank you, Bill Gates. Hiring, I'll make this quick. I'm an accountant working at a firm in a place. Unfortunately, a larger company bought out our firm is now requiring acceptance of a lifetime non-compete. Oh, hell no. F you, boomer. Right there. Right there. Bye. A lifetime non-compete? Get the F out of here. I would, out of pure spite, I would open up my own accounting office, like right next door to them, and say, well, you can buy me out, asshole. With tyrannical stipulations starting in December of this year to continue employment. Hence, I have 6 months to prepare to leave. It is my time to leave this area due to the fact that almost everyone here is a leftist, which is more irritating than the crime. I will never live in a. Look at you with your 50 cents words. I will never live in a milieu where I am constantly besieged by leftists. Again, it's a mental health issue. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm done. I'm done being. I am done trying to do the right thing, preventing financial crises, education bubbles, actually closing wage, life expectancy, living gaps between different groups. I'm sick and tired of trying to help people, and I'm called every ism, Nazi, homophobe, whatever else under the book. F leftists. F leftists. Nope. They're not. No, you're not my friend. You're a mentally ill person. Get the F out of here. I now intend to move either to Idaho or Utah. I could do Northern Idaho, Boise, or Salt Lake City. I know you have more experience in these states than I do, and thus, where would you go if you were a mid-20s, high IQ, agnostic accountant with no dependents or family? You and I have similar values. I'm not looking for a large circle of normie friends, nor do I have a desire to hit the clubs, watch the sports. But man, you know what I would do? I don't. Y'all hear me, but you don't listen, or y'all listen, but you don't hear me. You're an accountant. Of all the industries and fields, that's the easiest one to just set up a website, Bob's Accounting, start taking on contracts, and then you can live in Northern Idaho, Salt Lake City, or Boise and scope it out yourself. You can hit Moscow, Idaho. You can hit Coeur d'Alene. You might want to say, I don't like income taxes and jump the border to Washington State and Spokane. I mean, I understand your question, but why are you not, Cappy? Where's the first place I should go live in my van? It's summer. Where should, like you, and I understand you probably gonna want to get a job. You want to plant new roots, a new headquarters, a new base. But where are you? Are you working towards self-employment? Are you working? I'm not a big self-employment or nothing, bro. Like, oh, you're a loser working for other people. But man, accounting of all the careers and professions, that's a layup for self-employment. Um, nor do I have desire to hit clubs, watch the sports ball, etc. My long-term plan, i.e., 2 years from now, is to run a low-key tax consulting prep firm while working part-time. Okay. I'm socially adept, so I can recruit clients anywhere. Not a major moving constraint. Obviously, I'll make this decision on my own, but your opinion be appreciated. All right, well, let me tell you what I know about the areas you're talking about. All right, we got, hang on. Northern Idaho. Northern Idaho, Boise, or Salt Lake. All right, I did not like Boise. Boise is not pretty. Everyone thinks Idaho is like all mountains. It's not. It's not. Montana's not all mountains. The first eastern half of that state is all sagebrush and cold desert. The northern part of Idaho is pretty and has the mountains. Boise is just, it's up on this kind of high plain. And yeah, it's a downtown. But I was not impressed with it at all. They got Dutch Brothers. I saw that first place I ever had Dutch Brothers. I'm like, what's this crazy windmill shit going on? Oh, it's got great coffee. So that's okay. But even Milwaukee had more charm and character, if you can believe it. It's like the government went out there and said, let's make a city here. What should we put in it? Well, we'll just build it and they will come. Like, I know this sounds ethereal, but I was like, man, this does not have any soul. Like, okay, here's your Walmart. Here's your fat people walking in it. Okay, there's your obligatory Latino immigrants, taking pride in America, being fat just like all the other people at Walmart. The downtown was almost too new. Eh, I mean, totally meh. Just totally meh. I can see why Californians are like, oh my God, this is the greatest place ever. It's like, yeah, because you don't have people shitting in the streets there. So it's fine. I mean, it's a town. I'm sure the traffic wasn't bad. I just was like, this is a whole nothing burger. And maybe because it was just surrounded by I mean, to kind of give you a general geography, not to bore you. Okay, so we got to go all the way down to Las Vegas. Like Las Vegas. We're going all the way down to Las Vegas. So all the way from Las Vegas, which is the southern tip of Nevada, where it pinches off, to the north, that's all desert. Now, maybe it ain't Wile E. Coyote Desert all the way. There might be some mountains and all that, but it's geographically desert. And then it don't stop at the Nevada border up into what I believe is Oregon and Idaho. I think they split the border there. And so this desert continues on up into the north. And in some ways, depending on some of its desert-like traits, go all the way up into British Columbia, like Kamloops. I'm trying like, why is it so damn hot here? I'm in Canada. It's a big old basin. I don't know how, maybe it goes all the way up to the Arctic Circle, but it's kind of desert. Now, the further north you get, like once you bump into Oregon, yeah, fields start to take over. There's foliage, but it's not anything all that exciting. And Idaho, the southern part of it is just kind of a continuation of that drab, blah. Like, and so then you get into Boise and you're like on top of the drab, blah. Yeah, here we are. Oh, do you like fat chicks? Boise, Idaho. But they got fat. It's a very unimpressive town. So I would not recommend Boise. Now, I could be wrong. Go visit it. On your way to northern Idaho, you're probably going to go through it. Maybe you like it. You're not me, I'm not you, but I just was not impressed with it. Northern Idaho, the furthest north I've gone is Coeur d'Alene. Because I was driving on the interstate. I have not been up to Bonner's Ferry. Coeur d'Alene is very nice. There's a lake there. And then that Panhandle. Yeah, you're in the mountains. Oh yeah, definitely mountains if you want. And then it's a part of the area that's pro-white, perhaps a little too pro-white, perhaps a supremacist movement. But that area, you're not going to be dealing like gay pride flags and fuck white men. And I mean, you're good. That's the area to be. There's just not, I haven't been north of Coeur d'Alene, but I'm going to assume it continues on the Rockies, which it does. And very pretty. I would maybe stop at Moscow, Idaho, Coeur d'Alene. And just so you know, it's like, oh, where they like white people a little bit too much, maybe, perhaps. But yeah, you'd be surprised how much that correlates with meth and alcoholism. May I introduce you to Wyoming? So I haven't spent a lot of time there, but it could be a bit of the who dang diggly do diggly doos out there and a little bit of sister fucking. Well, that's Wyoming. It's more cousin fucking in other states. So don't think like, oh, I'm remote and people will leave me alone. I got my guns. It's like you could just be an out of towner and like, what you doing out of town for? So again, don't just like, oh my God, it looks pretty. We'll spend some time there. I mean, summer, spend some time. And I would also spend time winter there because I'm sure it gets a little bit colder up in those mountains. But if I had to choose between Boise and northern Idaho, I would absolutely pick northern Idaho because you can at least, it sounds like you don't need like necessarily a deep social life. You could sequester yourself. You could be left alone, and there's less people up there. And you won't be subjected to municipal politics of like, well, we decided, and the trophy wives get in charge because their husbands are working all the real jobs, and all the women sit on the board of the city council at Boise. So we're a bunch of bored liberal white women, and we decided with our degrees that society didn't pay us for, and our husbands had to bail us out of our student loans. That's how valuable they are. We decided to tell you how to run society. And all of a sudden you got shit in the street day and California Appreciation Week and all this other crap. So you'd avoid the city that way. But if I were to, out of the three you gave me though, here's what I would do. I would go Salt Lake City for a couple reasons. All right. One, major metro. Two, it's clean. Three, traffic ain't that bad. Four, you're in the heart of it, man. You're close. Well, you're into the Rockies. Yellowstone, if you want to go into the okay part of Wyoming, it's there. Vernal Utah Dinosaur National Monument. You're like 3.5 hours away from Moab. I think Utah is well, I don't think, I know Utah is a way more fun state, at least for me, than Idaho. And there's nothing wrong with Idaho. I enjoyed Idaho. I just, you Boise was crap. I mean, there's be beautiful, ton of beautiful hiking in northern Idaho, no doubt about it. But I think Salt Lake would have everything you have to offer. It'd be going from one major metro to another major metro. Yes, they have their leftist politics, but I mean, it's way more sane than where you are. Although I do like the town you're from. I have a soft spot for it. Um, but you got a major airport flying out of there. You can reconnoiter other parts of the country. You can reconnoiter Montana, Wyoming, and Idaho. And it's in a basin, so it's a little bit warmer. But if you want to go way up in the mountains, you can. If you want to go to the desert, you just shoot out west towards the Bonneville Flats. I just think that, and it would be because you don't know where to go. That is the place to go if you don't know where to go to figure out where you want to go. This become a Utah citizen, nothing wrong with that. You didn't mention, yeah, Utah and Idaho both have income taxes, so it's not like you're going to go to Washington State. So you might as well become a citizen of Utah. Why not? And I would just, 2 years, that's a good time not only for you to become self-employed, but just to figure things out. You'll become much more familiar with that tri-state area, even though these states are very large. And I would strongly recommend you go drive down to Moab. Because if you could become a remotely independent employed person, I mean, there's mountain people and there's canyon people. I'm a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll. I'm a little bit mountains, a little bit canyons. But if I had to choose, I'd be doing canyons. Because Moab, oh man, Canyonlands National Park, Arches, Highway 128. And then that would be a nice little weekend trip for you. And you got to check out Dinosaur National Monument. You got to check that out. But then there's the Kings Mountains, there's skiing, there's real no joke mountains, part of the Grand Tetons up there, if you wanted to. And if you're interested in fish fossil hunting, Kemmerer, Wyoming. Like, oh, I was always interested in that. Well, there you go. So that's what I would do. No, absolutely no to Boise. Drive through it, check it out. You could love the fat, pasty girls that go to Walmart. You might just love it. It's like a little bit of Oregon came here, except they all congregate by the Walmart. Okay. This summer, absolutely. Check out Coeur d'Alene, Bonner Street, just that the entire. Check out Moscow as well. But then either on your way up or on your way back, I'd spend a week or two in Salt Lake, and just as a temporary measure, just go. If you had to make a choice, I'd say Salt Lake, and then go from there. All right, link below is a book called Reconnaissance Man. It's how to reconnoiter the United States to figure out where you want to live. I wrote that book specifically for questions like this, where it's like, well, where do I live? My mom and dad live in a Midwest cold Marxist leftist shithole where the only reason the adult Democrats don't poop in the streets is because the poop would freeze to their butthole. Oh, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, or Detroit? All three. But we were raised so poorly, I just couldn't escape. Now I can. Where do I go? Well, one, you go south where it's warmer because snow sucks. And there are states without state income taxes. And there's all these other things that I picked up actually traveling through these states on many old motorcycle ride. Don't waste a decade of your life trying to figure out where to go. Get the book Reconnaissance Man. And you actually save a lot of money. Because imagine this, like your parents have moved at least 5 times, right? 5 different houses, 5 different realtor fees. Wonder why they don't have money saved up. Just move once, build your house. Hey, I like Moab. I'm going to stay here. And you remember that guy who retired at 45 because he only moved once and built one house? And he built it the way he built his bachelor hut. Yeah, I remember that guy. He's still there, 87 years old, hiking, getting blowjobs from 28-year-old women who's just like, I need a student loan bailout. I have a deal for you. Ah! All right. That's enough talk about prostitution. Speaking of sucky states in the Midwest, Wisco Nomad, $2, St. George, Utah. I agree. It's a little warm. Rare pointed that out. It's a little warm. And I think it's a beautiful area. Like I could do it. I could do St. George. But I'd have to leave come, June, which technically I did. Paracelsus Underac, $5. Utah has made gold and silver a state currency tempting. Looking at Tennessee too. Yeah, that's a nice state too. I mean, if there's a state out east, Florida and Tennessee, many states are reinstating metal currency. Good. Dustin at 7 Step Survival, $5. Driving the U-Haul from Cleveland to Florida. I plan on following Sterling Cooper's footsteps. Coop is all over the place. What is he? Is he settling finally in Florida? He's a truly international man. Kind of wonder. I know he's Australian, but he does set up. He's the one that put me on Estonian e-residency and Dubai and all that. Wisco Nomad, $5. Feels like people always need distractions when going out, music, games, etc. Whatever happened to just conversing with / meeting new people at a bar? Wisco, go watch my video. People suck. In the olden days, like when you had to go fight a war or raise 3 kids farming, you were an interesting man. You were an interesting person. All right, now we got life so easy. The turds that are spat forth by American women's vaginas are turds indeed. What am I going to talk to your average 28-year-old about? Hey, gee, yo, man, like free other stuff paid by other people's money. Am I right? You're so intelligent, dude, bro, with your master's in social work. You should totes my goats go marry that fat chick because big is beautiful, yo. What are you going? Have you looked at the average American? Now, if you go out far enough, you will find these old timers sitting at the bars of the American Legion. I like American Legions, or you could go to the what's the other one? American Legion and why can't I? VFW. Go there. You talk to some vets. That's a great place to go get a drink. But major metro. Oh, gee, Bipsy, you're also a liberal arts major? And you also believe in a parasitic ideology of taking other people's money away to bail you out of mistakes while simultaneously claiming being strong, independent women don't need no? Boy, let me talk to you and see if you have a different thought on life. There's very little intelligence in the United States. Nonstop Dre, $2. Cappy's into his yang. Rurb is there. He likes Utah. Yeah, Rob likes Utah. He's a big fan of it. Oh, speaking of turds, Glenn Lauren. Hey, Glenn, have you been getting the hiking in? I'm going to toilet paper my neighbor Cappy's. No, don't. It's not my house. It's It's the guy's house. Don't. I don't want to. I gotta maintain it. But seriously, did you get any of that hiking in? And Eric Hobbs, $5. Don't forget, there's a golden spike to see in northern Utah. Oh, is that where the Transcontinental Railroad met? I guess. I mean, you want to see a golden spike? Okay. Yeah, I'd Salt Lake, northern Utah. Oh, sorry, northern Idaho, and then I wouldn't do Boise. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. See you guys later. Toodles.